Good morning, all of you. So, welcome back to our online class. Today, we are going to learn the new chapter from our supplementary reader, An Alien Hand. The name of the chapter is The Cop and the Anthem. The cop means, in American English, police. Here, anthem means the two sides of the life of the main character in the story. Anthem is a song, but really here it is two parts of the life. One he is living there, and another one is he wanted to live. So let's check the story. So the name of the character is Soapy, and he doesn't have any home or job. He used to live in a park. The name of the park is Madison Square. So there was a seat, a lot of seats are there. He used to sleep in that particular seat. So let's start the story. Soapy moved restlessly on his seat in Madison Square. There are certain signs to show that winter is coming. Birds begin to fly south, people want new warm coats, and Soapy moves restlessly on his seat in the park. When you see these signs, you know that winter is near. So there are certain signs which shows the winter is coming. So Soapy doesn't have any home, so he was moving restlessly, noisily. Okay, not that easily. A dead leaf fell at Soapy's feet. That was a special sign for him that winter was coming. It was time for all who lived in Madison Square to prepare. So winter is coming. When a leaf fell at his feet, he understood winter is coming. So he also wanted to be prepared. Soapy's mind now realized that fact. The time had come. He had to find some way to take care of himself during the cold weather, and therefore he moved restlessly on his seat. He understood he wanted to get a place to live. Soapy's hopes for the winter were not very high. He was not thinking of sailing away on a ship. He was not thinking of southern skies or of the Bay of Naples. So he doesn't have any high hope during the winter season. He was not thinking of sailing away on a ship, or he was not thinking about southern skies. Southern sky means warmer places, or the Bay of Naples. Bay of Naples is a place in Italy. So 3 months in the prison on Blackwell's Island was what he wanted. So Blackwell's Island is the name of a prison. If Soapy went to prison, the government would look after his food and stay. So that's why he liked that place. 3 months of food every day, and a bed every night. 3 months safe from the cold north wind and safe from cops. This is what Soapy wanted most in the world. So he decided to go to the island. So it is not that easy to go to the island. For years, Blackwell's Island had been his winter home. Richer New Yorkers made their plans to go to Florida or to the shore of the Mediterranean Sea each winter. Soapy made his small plans to go for going to the island. So richer people in the New York, what they plan to go to Florida, or they plan to go to the Mediterranean Sea each winter. But Soapy, every winter he is planning to go to the island. Island, that means it's a jail. Remember it's not an island. Blackwell's Island, it's a jail in the island itself. And now the time had come. 3 big newspapers, some under his coat and some over his legs, had not kept him warm during the night in the park. So now this is the time, because he was used newspapers to sleep and cover his body. So this winter season, it is not enough for him. So he decided to go to the jail. So Soapy was thinking of the island. There were places in the city where he could go and ask for food and bed. So in the city there are different places he could go and ask for bed and food. This would be given to him. If he asks, they will give it. He could move from one building to another. He can move from one building to another, and he would be taken care of through the winter. And he doesn't want to worry about anything else. He can easily stay in that winter season in that houses. But he liked Blackwell's Island better. Why he liked Blackwell's Island better? We can check it. Soapy's spirit was proud. If he went to any of these places, there were certain things he had to do. If he go any of these places other than the Blackwell Island, he had to do some things. What are they? In one way or another, he would have to pay for what they gave him. So they were not, sometimes he wanted to pay back for what they had given to him. They would not ask him for money. but they would make him wash his whole body. So they will not ask him to give money for giving the place to live. But sometimes they may ask him to wash his whole body. They would make him answer questions. They will ask so many questions. He wanted to answer for it. They would want to know everything about his life. They will ask so many questions about his life. He wanted to say for that. Say answer for that questions. No, prison was better than that. So to escape from that questions, he thought prison was better than that. The prison had rules that he would have to follow. He just want to follow the rules. But in prison, a gentleman's own life was still his own life. That is, nobody will come to question your life. Who are you? What? Where are you coming from? Like that, questions will never come from there. So he thought like that. Soapy, having decided to go to the island at once, began to move towards his desire. So he decided to go to the island. So he wanted to go there. So how he goes there? How he get into the jail? That is the main thing. There were many easy ways of doing this. The most pleasant, most happiest way was to go and have a good dinner at some fine restaurant. Then he would say that he had no money to pay. So the best way to go to the jail is that go to a restaurant and have enough food, dinner, good dinner, eat as much as he can. And finally he can say, I don't have any money. So what will happen? And then a cop would be called. So the restaurant owners will call the police. It would all be done very quietly. Everything will be quietly done. The cop would arrest him. He would be taken to a judge. The judge would do the rest. So that's the easiest way. Go to the hotel, eat food, say no, don't have money, and the police will come, arrest him, take to the judge. Judge will send him to the jail. Soapy left his seat and walked slowly out of Madison Square to the place where the great street called Broadway and Fifth Avenue meet. He went across this wide space and started north on Broadway. He stopped at a large and brightly lighted restaurant. This was where the best food and the best people in the best clothes appeared every evening. So he went to a place, the rich people, the best people are coming. So he went to that restaurant. So he believed that above his legs he looked all right. So remember, he was jobless, a homeless man. So he was wearing torn dresses. Above his legs he looks all right. His face was clean. His coat was good enough. If he could get a table, he believed that success would be his. So he thought if he get a table to sit there, then he will get the success. The part of him that would be seen above the table would look all right. The waiter would bring him what he asked for. So if he get a seat, if he get a table to sit, then what will happen? The part which you have seen above the table would be very good. That is all right. So the waiter would bring him what he asked for. He began thinking of what he would like to eat. In his mind, he could see the whole dinner. The cost would be not too high. He was thinking what he ought to eat. He did not want the restaurant people to feel any real anger. So he doesn't want to make them more anger. But the dinner would leave him filled and happy for the journey to his winter home. What is his winter home? Winter home here he means the jail. But as Soapy put his foot inside the restaurant door, the head waiter saw his broken old shoes and the torn clothes that covered his legs. So when he stepped into the restaurant, the head waiter saw that he wearing torn dresses. Strong and ready hands turned Soapy around and moved him quietly and quickly outside again. So they didn't allow him to get into the restaurant. Soapy turned off Broadway. It seemed that this most easy way to the island was not to be his. This way he cannot go there. He must think of some other way of getting there. At the corner of 6th Avenue was a shop with a wide glass window. So there was a shop with a wide glass window, bright with electric lights. Soapy picked up a big stone and threw it through the glass. So he broke the glass. People came running around the corner. A cop was the first among them. Many members are coming towards him. A police officer was the first among them. Soapy stood still and he smiled when he saw the cop. He stood there because he wanted to get arrested and then only he can go to the jail. So when he saw the cop, he smiled at him. Where's the man that did that? Asked the cop. He asked, where's the man who did that, who break that glass? Don't you think that I might have done it? Said Soapy. Soapy said, didn't you think that I have done that? He was friendly and happy. What he wanted was coming towards him. So, but the cop's mind would not consider Soapy. So, he was happy to see him, but his mind didn't consider Soapy. Men who break windows do not stop there to talk to cops. If anybody do any crime, they will not stop there to talk to the cops. They will run away. They run away as fast as they can. The cops saw a man further along the street, far away from the street, running. The cop saw another person was running in the street. He ran after him. And Soapy, sick at heart, walked slowly. He fell. That means he feels sad. Sick at heart, feels sad, walked slowly away. He had failed 2 times. 2 times he tried, but the police didn't arrest him. Across the street was another restaurant. It was not so fine as the one on Broadway. The people who went there were not so rich. Its food was not so good. Into this, Soapy took his old shoes and his torn clothes, and no one stopped him. So into that restaurant he entered, but no one stopped by wearing the same old torn clothes and shoes, but nobody stopped him. He sat down at a table and was soon eating a big dinner. So he got the dinner what he asked for. When he had finished, he said that he had no money. Get busy and call a cop, said Soapy, and don't keep a gentleman waiting. So he said after when they give the bill, he said, I don't have money. Then he said, you don't worry, just call the police. Don't make me to wait. Call the police fast. No cop for you, said the waiter. He called another waiter. The waiter said, no, you don't need any police officer. You don't need any policeman. The 2 waiters threw Soapy upon his left ear on the hard street outside. So they took him and threw him outside. He fell down by hitting his left ear on the road. He stood up slowly, one part at a time, and beat the dust from his clothes. That is, he removed the dust from his clothes. Slowly he woke up. Prison seemed only a happy dream. He thought it's just a dream. The island seemed very far away, so he cannot reach there because the police 3 times he failed. A cop who was standing near laughed and walked away. So the cop also didn't take care of anything, so he simply laughed and walked away. So he started moving again. When he stopped, he was near several theaters. In this part of the city, streets are brighter and hearts are more joyful than in other parts. So that part, streets are brighter and the people are more joyful than in other parts. Women and men in rich warm coats moved happily in the winter air. So they all are happily moving. A sudden fear caught Soapy. No cop was going to arrest him. She thought, the police will not arrest him. So here is a picture that the waiters are throwing him outside. So we can go to the next part. Then he came to another cop standing in front of a big theater. He thought of something else to try. So he saw a police was standing in front of a theater. So he thought to try something. He began to shout as if he had too much to drink. His voice was as loud as he could make it. He danced, he cried out. So he acted like he was a drunk man. And he loudly talked and he cried, he danced. And the cop turned his back to Soapy and said to a man standing near him, "It is one of those college boys. He won't hurt anything. We have orders to let them shout." But the policeman who was standing there, he just turned back and he said to another person who was standing there, he said, "That is a college boy. They will not do anything. They will simply shout there. So we have orders. We got orders from the higher officers that don't do anything, just let them shout." Soapy was quiet. Was no cop going to touch him? He began to think of the island as if it were as far away as a star. Now he thought, now I cannot reach there because it is that much away, like a star. He pulled his thin coat around him. The wind was very cold. Again he failed. Then he saw a man in a shop buying a newspaper. The man's umbrella stood beside the door. Soapy stepped inside the shop, took took the umbrella and walked slowly away. Now he simply went inside a shop and took the umbrella from a man who was buying a newspaper and he walked away. The man followed him quickly. My umbrella, he said. Oh, is it? Said Soapy. Why don't you call a cop? I took it, your umbrella. Why don't you call a cop? There is one standing at the corner. Then Soapy said, oh, it's your umbrella. Then okay, you call a cop. Why can't you call a cop? I took your umbrella. I steal your umbrella. You call a cop and take back your umbrella. The man walked more slowly. Soapy did the same. The man, he was following him, but now while listening to this one, the man walked very slowly. Soapy also walked slowly because Soapy wanted somebody to take him to the police. But he had a feeling that he was going to fail again. Now he again thought again he was going to fail. The cop looked at the two men. I said the umbrella man. That is, you know how these things happen. If that is your umbrella, I am very sorry. I found it this morning in a restaurant. If you say it is yours, I hope you will. So the man said no. What he wanted to say is that he simply take that umbrella from a restaurant. He took that umbrella from a restaurant and he thought Soapy is the real owner of that umbrella. He thought, yes, if it is yours, you can take it back. It is mine, cried Soapy with anger in his voice. The umbrella man hurried away. The cop helped a lady across the street. Soapy walked east. He threw the umbrella as far as he could throw it. He talked to himself about cops and what he thought of them, because he wished to be arrested. They seemed to believe he was like a king who could do no wrong. So he thought police must arrest him. But he thought that police thinking he's a king, will not do anything wrong. Soapy is a good person. At last, Soapy came to one of the quietest streets on the side of the city. He turned here and began to walk south towards Madison Square. He was going home, although home was only a seat in a park. Now he again started walking towards the Madison Square. He was going to his home. He was going home. What is his home? His home is just only a seat in the park. But a very quiet corner. Soapy stopped. Here was his old childhood home. He remembered when he reached a quiet street, he remembered there was his old childhood home. Through one window he could see a soft light shining. That had been his living room. So he came in front of his own old house. That is when he was living in the childhood. When he lived that place in childhood. That had been his living room where he had spent many happy, peaceful moments. So a light coming from the living room. So he thought that was my living room. He spent many happy, peaceful moments in that home. Sweet music came to Soapy's ears and seemed to hold him there. So nice music is coming from that home. So he listened to that one and he stood still there. He didn't move from there. The moon was above, peaceful and bright. So it is become night time. There were few people passing. Some people are passing. He could hear birds high above him. And the music that came from the room held Soapy there. For he had known it well long ago. So that music he had listened when he was living in that house, when he was a child. In those days, he was thinking about his childhood days. His life contained such things as mothers and flowers and high hopes and friends and clean thoughts and clean clothes. So in that time he had everything. He has mother, he has a good house, he has friends, he has good hopes, he has clean thoughts and clean clothes. There was a sudden and wonderful change in his soul. Now his soul changed. He saw with sick fear how he had fallen. Now he understood how he had fallen. When he was a child, he had everything. He was a good person. And now everything changed. He saw his worthless days, his wrong desires, his dead hopes, the lost power in his mind. Now he remembered everything. He doesn't have any power. He lost his mind power, his wrong desire. his dead hopes, everything. And also in a moment, his heart answered this change in his soul. So the heart, there is a change came. So the heart replied to him. He would fight to change his life. Now he understood it. I wanted to fight to change my life. I should not live like this. I should not live without having any job. I should not live without having any house. I should fight to change my life. He would pull himself up out of the mud. He thought, from the mud I wanted to come up. He would make a man of himself again. He thought, I want to become a man of myself again. I want to become a man of who has job, who has home, everything. There was time. He was young enough. He would find his old purpose in life and follow it. So when he was young, he would find his old purpose, that is or desire, his ideas, and he followed it, his dreams. That sweet music had changed him. By listening to that sweet music, he himself changed his mind. Tomorrow he would find work. He thought, tomorrow I will find the work. A man had once offered him a job. Once a man offered him a job, he would find that man tomorrow. He would be somebody in the world. He would. So he felt a hand on his arm. He looked quickly around into the broad face of a cop. So he was thinking, I want to become a good, great person. I want to become a person who has the job. He was thinking, tomorrow I will change myself. I will find the person who offered me a job and I will ask him to give the job. After doing the job, I will get a good money, salary, and I will have a house and everything. I change my life. When he was thinking about that, by standing simply in front of that house, a hand kept on his shoulder, and when he look back, it was a policeman. What are you doing hanging around here? Asked the cop. The cop was, what are you doing here? Nothing, said Soapy. You think I believe that? Said the cop. Cop said, are you thinking I believe that? Full of his new strength, Soapy began to argue. Now he has the strength. He want to change. So he started arguing. I didn't do anything. And it is not wise to argue with a New York cop. So if you are arguing with a New York cop, that is not that much good. It's not good, not wise thing. Come along, said the cop. 3 months prison on Blackwell's Island, said the judge to Soapy next morning. So next morning he was taken to the judge, and judge ordered 3 months prison on Blackwell's Island. This story was written by O. Henry. We already know that one. It's a very humorous and wonderful story. So what happened really? When he wanted to go to the jail to escape from the winter, he tried many things. Everywhere he failed. But finally, he decided to change his life. He decided, tomorrow onwards I will change my life. I will go for a work. I will change my life. I will find a good job and everything. When he changed his mind, in that time what happened? The police arrested him. What he wanted to go, where he wanted to go first time, to the jail. But now he doesn't want to go there. He wants to change his life. But now, when he wanted to go to the jail, the police didn't arrest him. Now when he changed his life, while he wanted to live in the city itself, then police arrested him for doing nothing. When he does many things, the police didn't arrest him. When he didn't do anything, the police arrested him and take him to the Blackwell's Island. So I hope you all understood the story. It's a very interesting one. So if you have any doubts about this story, you can ask me in the comment box. So there are some question answers and other things that all we will discuss and write. So here it is time to wind up our class here. The lesson, the cop and the anthem, we have finished here. So if you have any doubts about it, you can ask it here. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you again. Bye.